Hello, students. Today I am with you to narrate the story of Bowman Desai, and the title of the story is Between the Mosque and the Temple. This is a very short narrative. It is written by a Parsi writer, Bowman Desai. He narrates an incident which could have flared up into a major confrontation. The importance attached to religious places and intolerance, which stems from this attitude, can lead to riots. The whole question is about a garbage bin which everyone wants to get rid of. And finally, the chairman of a sanitation committee, who happens to be a woman and also a Parsi, decides to handle the problem. This story indicates how people in a country which boast of tolerance for others, due to some unknown reason, leads the people to intolerance. How we boast of being very liberal for our fellow countrymen, but due to the difference, the disparity, because due to venom which is really flowing through our veins, has sometimes it affects our decision to be wise and judicious. And the handling of such matters needs little, I would say, little intelligence as well as how to tackle the situation. This situation was handled by a woman who was a Parsi, and she dresses up especially for the occasion, and measuring the distance between the mosque and the temple, she places the bin midpoint and gets both parties to accept the situation. She is able to do so because she is neutral and impartial. Now, this neutrality and impartiality is a word which every Indian should have in mind. And if not only we become tolerant for others, if we really become neutral and impartial, the attitude towards certain things would automatically change, and it could lead to a drastic change in the society, because everyone is nowadays, we complain of intolerance, being intolerant towards our neighbors due to some reasons, due to some class conflict, due to some conflict based on religion. I'm reading this narrative, and it is a very interesting one, and it's a short narrative. So, Banu was awakened every morning by the crowing cuckoo of the rooster. She was out of a four-poster bed almost as soon as she was awake. The Dabri Pemi was already sweeping the floors when Banu got out of bed. Pemi folded the blankets and raised the mosquito net. As she got older, Banu relied increasingly on Penny, not only for household chores but companionship. So, the beginning of the story tells us about two characters, and the character is, one is Banu and one is Dabri, who is an aged woman, and both of them, they are living together, not only because she is a Dabri is her Pemi. Pemi, her name is Pemi. Pemi is not only her household, I can say, assistant, but she gives her companionship also. The sun would be rising as Banu said her Kusti prayers, and the other morning birds, koyas, sparrows, bulbuls announcing their presence. One morning she said an extra Yata Hovaira prayer because she was anxious about the outcome of the day. She's a Parsi woman, and she chants She utters incantation in her language, and this day, one day when she woke up, she was little, she was in unrest, and that is why she prayed extra, as because she was the chairman of sanitation committee, and the problem was that there was a major issue, a dispute between Hindu and Musliman about the placement of a rubbish ban. Hindus said it was too close to the temple, and Muslims said it was too close to the mosque, and they wanted to move it and take it towards the temple. The collector who was responsible for the collection of revenue in surrounding wadis, uh, she had already warned that this could have led to blood bath might ensue if she were not careful. Means there might be the communal rights between the two community, Hindu and Muslim. Then after saying the extra prayer, she put on a plain cotton blouse, a plain sari, and plain black walking shoes with plain black brass buckles to look more businesslike. Now the way she's dressed, that also shows that she was professionally attired. She was not wearing very vibrant colors. She was wearing plain white and black with only brass bracelet in her hand, and she has taken care of all those things so that she could look more professional. Then she never wore bangles and rings and tila, so she didn't have to even think about it. She breakfasted on one egg, one slice of bread, cup of tea, which she slurped from the saucer. Now, this slurping from the saucer also indicates that she was a bit anxious from inside, and she wanted to quick up to finish her breakfast quickly. So that is why she did it. She had chosen to walk because it wasn't far, and she wanted to show how she is. The day became hotter as she set out, and she held up the sash of a sari to shield her eyes from the sun. Then, as she was walking on the street, someone recognized her, and the students said, Sabji Bhanubai Tame Kem Cho. Tame Kem Cho means how are you? This is in Gujarati. So, this also indicates that this story, the place of the story is somewhere in Gujarati locality where people from Gujarat are living. So students, they called her, they talked in Gujarati and asked her how about her well-being. Then she says, Sari Kani, I'm well, but we have got important work to do. Then I can't wait for chit chat. She said, they asked, where are you going? She smiled suddenly, and then she saw that in that group of students, there were Hindus and Muslims both. So she remembered, she thought, she took this idea from Gandhi's Dandi March, Salt March, during which Hindus and Muslims and both genders and all caste and ages had come to get united with him, and they participated in their show of solidarity against the English. So he says, okay, okay, come, I will show you something. And students followed her, and then as she moved, group of people, it increased, more people joined them, 6 women with baskets of vegetables, then some men who were tiffin carriers, they also walked with her, chanawalas, hawkers, children, street animals, acrobat, all these people who belong to lower strata of society, who were I would say they were workers who were very poor people, but all of them, they had belief in her and they joined her. So she took them to that place. Suddenly the collector's car also approached them, and collector said, why didn't you go by car? She said, no. She said, come with us, see for yourself. She also called collector to come and join her. The collector understood the retinue that Banu was building for herself was more impressive than a Rolls Royce. Now, collector could just get out of it. He could think why she had this plan in her mind, because walking on street was rather more impressive than walking in a luxury car. The populace was almost very effective. He took his place by her side. Collector also accompanied her. Then she led the parade, and mostly men in white. Women, they were colorfully dressed. Dogs, goat, chicken, dusty wadi, dirty paths, cobble streets. They all passed, and then they passed shops of the cobblers, tailors, potters, artisans, phlegmatic cows, pyramids of dry dung. This is a real picture of, I would say, congested place in our country. Any congested neighborhood, we can see how where people are, they gather, they just work together, but they are so closely connected to each other. They are living in such a society where people from all strata of society, they mix with each other, and their professionally also, there are a lot many professions which were people were working from. And then she just walked on the street, and she also just crossed, she bypassed bicycles and honking hooters. Then there was a white cow. We come across this scene also, where stray animals, they come in a way, they come, they just cross our way, so she could see white cow also, and she was enjoying herself. And then they went to that rubbish bin. Now, as she reached to the rubbish bin, spokesmen from both the religion, Hindu and Muslim as well, they started speaking, and not just at the crowd, but that chairman was a woman. One Hindu, he was a fat man with red handkerchief knotted at his four corners on his head. He was wearing kurta, dhoti, chappals. He said, Maiji, are you the chairman? She said, yes. But you are the chairman. Now, they couldn't believe that any woman can be a chairman, because chairman usually they had in mind was some male folk was there. But when they saw that lady, they couldn't even believe. And that Hindu spokesman, he again and again asked, are you the chairman? Are you the same person? Then she said, why are you so surprised? Then Musalman was much darker. He was wearing red face with a black tassel. He was wearing brown jacket, and his brow was wrinkled in puzzlement, and his eyebrows also became one long ridge. Then she said, okay, now I have come to give you solution. The solution is simple. We have to be reasonable, and we have got to find the place exactly between the mosque and the temple. So she said with such assurance that people thought that she must have reversed the event. So Musalman walked grudgingly, stiffly. Then she her his one Musalmani brow, his brow still wrinkled. He was thinking some important thoughts. The Hindu walked with Banu, counting loudly in a sing-song voice as if he were learning numbers in school. So they counted exactly 232 steps to the temple. Then Banu turned to the enthusiastic dad. Now she said, what is one half of 232? 116. She said, okay. 232, if we divide it by 2, it is 116. So she said, again you have to count it down. And then she walked back to the mosque and stopped at 116 and said, this is the middle point. There, this is the place where you must put the bin. Now, it meant moving the bin closer to the temple and farther from the mosque. Banu was relieved because she felt the Hindu would give in more easily than the Muslim. Now, this sentence also uh, tells us something about the indication which Woman Desai writer he wants to make to his readers, that whereas tolerance is concerned, Hindus are more tolerant. So when the rubbish bin was moved little bit closer to temple and far from mosque, she knew it that this would happen, because she knew that Hindu would accept it, as they are little more tolerant than the Muslim persons. Then she said, this is the best place, this is the fair place. The Hindu looked at his followers. She said, is it fair? They said, it is fair, my dear, it is fair. Musalman did not smile. He said nothing, but nodded his approval without even looking at his faction. And then he said, okay, thank you. It was wise decision. They were indebted to her. And then she needed them for anything, they would have definitely come. Because they were also, they looked assured. Muslims also looked assured because they thought that she has made the right decision by walking, by keeping the bin just at the middle point. So anyone could have provided the solution, Banu said later, but it helped that so many came with me also that I was a Parsi. So this concluding statement also has a deep underlying meaning. Number one, she said this was a very easy solution; anyone could have made it. But why her decision was it was strong because she had the accompaniment of common people with him. So many people, they were in her group. She was not all alone. And the other point was that since she was Parsi, so both the people from different religion, they relied on her, thinking that she is impartial in her approach. So she said that, and the third one was it helped even more than I was a woman. Now then she said that since the authenticity of female is more because they have a nice way of tackling things, that also helped her in taking the decision, and because of her people were appeased. They did not say anything else. They accepted it as it was, and they were also very surprised because they had nothing to argue. That just surprised them too much to argue because they thought that this is a question which has become undisputable, and because of three major reasons they relied on chairman, and this is how she handled the situation, and this is how we come to the end of the story. So Bowman Desai has raised certain issues, has talked about certain issues which are prevalent in society, and the only solution to such disputable things are that we little bit of tackling, a little bit of having faith in people and creating our faith can help us in handling the situation. So that is all for today. I hope you must have understood the story. It was a nice one, and it raised certain issues, and thank you so much. I'll come with some more narratives and some more lectures on chapters which are prescribed for your study. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Good luck.